Hey everybody, it's me Laura, and today we're going to go ahead and create my Zentangle Styled Demi pattern. And oh my gosh, I love this one. Oh, I'm so excited about it. And you're going to see why here in just a little bit. Okay, so right here I'm starting to roll out my clay to a #1 setting off of my pasta machine. That was 1.25 inches wide there. Sorry, 1.25 inches wide. And I'm rolling this up. And so I'm going to roll this up into a black log. And then I'm going to cut it flush. And once I cut that flush, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to kind of roll this, back and forth a little bit. Ooh, my white fell down on me. Roll this up a little bit. And it's going to take me a little bit to do. And the reason why that is because this is Kato clay. I didn't use the others. And the reason for that is Kato is naturally a harder clay to work with. And when you go to reduce that cane in Kato, well, I've rarely had the design go wonky or deform, from my original intended image. You can definitely do this cane in any of the other polymer clays. I would just say to lean a little bit more towards a harder clay. This is going to be rolled back and forth. I now punched it down, that's 1.5, close to 1.5 inches. So, and then I've got close to 1.25, tall. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and roll it into a square log. Now, once I get that square log made, from there, and I'm using my rolling pin, I'm making sure all 4 sides are fairly, even pressure. Once I get that rolled, I'm going to take my blade and I'm cut down the sides to give myself a nice, precise square log. So it's not going to have rounded corners. This is going to be as square as I could get it. I could go ahead, I guess, and make triangles, but it doesn't work the same. I really like this so much better. So 1.25 by 1.25, and we're going to just shave off the sides to have a nice, precise square log. Okay, so now that I got that black log cut pretty precise with its really nice pointed corners, that's the main thing here. We want those nice pointed corners. And from here, I'm going to have a square brick that's going to be 1 1/8 inch, in diameter. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and do the same with my white. I want to make another square log, and it's going to be 1 1/8 in diameter in the end, the exact same way that I did my black. Now you guys need to keep in mind when I'm making these square logs, I've got the white clay and the black clay. Please make sure that both of them are either fairly hard clay or they're fairly soft clay. You don't want to have one that's hard and one that's soft, because when you go to reduce down, it's going to warp and it's not going to look anything like it's supposed to. Okay, so right here I have my white square log, or brick, along with my black, and I'm cutting the little sides off so I can make sure I have some nice detailed points on this square log. And then once I have those sides cut off, I'm going to go ahead and making sure all of those points, and then I'm going to put up right next to my black brick. And I'm using that black brick as my guide. So this way then they'll match up exactly. And in a lot of ways, I did this when I did the Chloe cane. It was the same thing, except here I'm dealing with 2 squares. So I'm going to take both of these squares now, and because they're the same, I'm going to go ahead and take my blade. I'm just going to rock a little bit on both sides, just a nice little line into that. And I want to say it was about maybe a quarter of an inch in, or it was less, something like that. But it was a pretty nice little thing. And I made this like 9-patch, like little section, or like a tic-tac-toe guide on top of both of them. And then I cut down from corner to corner diagonally, forming 2 triangles on your white brick. Now you're going to do the same with your black. Once you do that and you pull those apart, take one of those triangles on the white here and cut down where I had those guidelines, okay? And then cut down again, going the opposite side, the opposite way, and pull your little triangle out, okay? Keep that other part, the outside part, formed into that triangular with its cutout. And then, okay, right here, when I went to go cut, not good, it went askew. So make sure you cut down straight when you do this. So reform it if you have to get that straight cut. Once you have that, reform it, cut down again, and then pull out that little triangle and set that to the side. Now, take both of these, set those to the side, and do the same to your black as well. Okay, now that you have all of these, cut out, we have them into our little V's and our little triangles, you're going to take a white triangle and insert it into the black. And you're going to do the same with the other white triangle. And if one triangle doesn't fit really good, try the other one. Get it so that both of those triangles will be inserted into, you might say, the V part of the black or the original black stump. So right there, we'll just put both of those, set that to the side, do the same with your white. And if you have a little excess right here, I'm just cutting it off so that I get that as precise as I possibly can. And then once you have that done, go ahead and insert your black triangles into the white V's. And like I said, trim off whatever you need. Once you have that, form one black part with one white part, the other black part with the other white part, and this is going to give you 2 bricks of Demi to work with. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take that Demi, or I should say the Demi pattern here, and we're going to go ahead and reduce it down. And these were fairly short and they weren't terribly big, but that's okay, because for me, I didn't know exactly what kind of pattern I was going to get, and this thing surprised me big time. But the best part about it was that I decided I was going to go ahead and take slices off this particular cane. And the reason why I did, and we're going to go ahead, and as I reduced this down, I think I went down to about a quarter, no, it was a ½ inch, I think. ½ inch in diameter. Enough for me to have a decent sized slice, but also enough that I could get 16 slices cut off of this one cane. And you're asking me, okay, why 16? And the reason is because a lot of the patterns, holy cow, I needed 16 slices to figure them out. And you got to, when you do this, think of these slices as a single cane. So you're really working with 16 different canes eventually. You're going to have 16 canes, and that's what each of these slices represent. Okay, so when you cut these slices, and you'll see it right here, I'm using my blade to make them as square as possible. The more square they are, the better off it is when it comes to creating the patterns in the end, where you can see what they're all really going to look like. Now, mind you, they don't have to be completely precise, and mine weren't. Trust me, they weren't. But it gave me a general idea of what, oh my goodness, what the pattern would look like in the very end. And that's what you really need. You just need a guide, and that's what this serves as. These slices serve as a guide into like, okay, what am I actually going to get here? I've done this when I do my kaleidoscoping. I'll take slices of a certain point in the cane, and then I'll form it up to find out what kind of patterns I'm going to get. So instead of cutting up a bunch of cane and then putting it together and not really happy with the pattern, instead I cut the slices first, I'll bake those, and then once I have those baked, I'll bring that together and form the different patterns that I get. Okay, so here, these tiles have all been baked. I mean, this is my cane on the one side there, but these ones have been baked. And I want to just kind of show you how I use them when I go about trying to search for the patterns I'm going to be making with this cane. So I've got two, and that kind of shows the direction of what it looks like side by side. And then I cut off another four, and these four to me represent each row. So some of the patterns that I came up with or found in this Demi pattern was that if you change the position on each of them, it would change the pattern either just a little bit or a lot. It really, oh man, there were so many. In fact, I do believe I came up with, I want to say 37. I think it was 37 patterns you're going to be seeing here. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh. You're like, oh no. I'm going to be like, good luck. Have fun with that, people. But it just totally surprised me. I wasn't expecting to find out I was going to be getting so many different patterns. So really, I mean, what you saw, even on my thumbnail here, just to kind of get into this particular video, it doesn't even, I could tell you right now, when I was going through all of these different patterns, this is the main one. This is the original pattern. This is what's supposed to look like, right? From here, it just gets wild. So I wanted to show you how I lined those all up. But from here, you're going to be seeing a lot of fun patterns, and I'm going to go through a few of them. Okay, so you saw my original pattern there, and I broke it into 4 areas. So what we're going to do is we're going to change up the direction of where some of these are going. So I'm going to flip this one, the first one. I'm going to flip that next one around, and I want to say, I thought, let's go ahead and create, looks like, an arrow. And I thought, oh, this is going to be so cool. So cool. And so I got one arrow going that way, and I thought, oh, that's fun. And I could do that in just rows with just this black arrow going down the center. Now, if you do that, you can reverse it, and you can have a white arrow instead of a black. Okay, so moving these tiles around once again, I'm going to flip it around, and this turns into a diamond shaped pattern. And to me, it was just so fun. I was like, I love this. Oh, it turned out great. I thought, okay, this is going to be a neat pattern. So you could have one solid pattern of this like diamond shaped type thing. It's so much fun. Okay, so as you can see with me doing this and I'm turning these tiles around into different directions, I can automatically see what kind of patterns I'm going to be getting. So it's really, to me, it's almost essential to go ahead and cut these slices, bake them, and then have fun with them to find out what kind of patterns you're going to get. Because I could tell you right now, I don't think I got all the patterns. I'm going to give you a good portion of them, but there's more. Okay, so this is the section I really love. I'm going to be showing you all the different patterns I found, but realize there's more. All right, so this first pattern is a bit of a zigzag, goes back and forth. The next one, it's a set of arrows going up and down opposite directions. The next one is another set of arrows, but they're both going in the same direction, and the arrows are in black. All right, another zigzag, but the arrows are black and they're going opposite directions. You've got the white and the black arrow type, and then you've got the two white arrow types going in the same direction. And then from here, I found like this diamond-like cross. I absolutely loved it. You got the black version, you got the white version, and then you have it where you can even mix it. So I'm having like the arrow thing going on along with that diamond type cross. Oh my goodness. There were just so many patterns that you could find in this whole series. And I know I don't have them all. So I'm hoping you guys will sit down and try and figure out how many patterns are here. I'm sure somebody's going to tell me. Okay, so these patterns are my favorites right in here. Oh, I love these things. Oh, they turned out so great. I mean, I love kaleidoscoping anyway, but these geometrics that I got out of here, oh, it was right up my alley. I absolutely love this. And I have to say, for those of you who don't really, you say, I don't know if I can really actually do the kaleidoscoping thing. This might be a step into it for you because, like I said, these patterns, it kind of helps a little bit. It gives you more practice in reducing and finding some really fun types of cane that you can play with. Okay, so out of all those patterns, I decided I want to go ahead and do this particular one of my favorites. And I wanted to show you how I did it because I know a lot of you were like, okay, I cut the slices, but that doesn't give me the cane. And I'm like, okay, I totally get it. So I had a couple of these segments and they weren't all the same, I want to say width or diameter. And so I had to kind of, reduce them down. And really when I went to go ahead and reduce these things down to be all the same, I just kind of put them up right next to each other and say, okay, does this feel like and does this seem like it's the same same size. And really it was the best way to go. I mean, I didn't have to use a ruler. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but just being able to judge by like, okay, that's the same thickness, that's the same diameter, because they feel that way. Or one was a little bit higher, like I was doing right there. One was a little higher, a little bit, bigger than the one that it was next to. So I thought, okay, fine, we reduce it down just a little bit more until we get it to the same size altogether. Now, once I did that, I had like I wound up with 4 canes altogether, or I should say reduced. Once I had these reduced, then I went ahead and I cut off the ends on the ones that were kind of like a little longer than the other two. Once I reduced that down, I cut off my ends. I had all 4 together. So I put those together. They were all the same length. And then I just measured right in the middle, and I made my mark up the middle on all 4 of them. And then I cut down flush. That gave me 8. Okay. Then I took all 8 of those, lined them up, found halfway, cut it down one more time, and that gave me 16. Now, some of these, these canes they're not terribly tall, but that's okay. You don't want them to be terribly tall, okay? It's harder to manage when you have a lot of clay and you're going the entire length of your table. No. I like to keep it a little bit shorter. So, I just went ahead, cut all of those, and then I just formed the pattern I really wanted. So please, guys, enjoy this section and watching me being able to put this thing together. Okay, so now I've reduced this thing down and we're about ready to cut and find out what we get. Oh yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh yes, definitely. So yeah, that was like 3/4 of an inch in diameter on both of those. And then I just thought, okay, let's go ahead. We'll cut a few slices and see what it looks in kind of a 4 square type pattern. And oh, it did not disappoint at all. I absolutely love this. Okay, so here are just a few of some of the patterns that I made with this demi cane. Oh my goodness, I had so much fun with this and I hope you did too. Please use this video for study and reference. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I'm always wondering what you're thinking. Otherwise, I am sending out my biggest hugs to each of you and I hope you have a fantastic day.